If you've ever wondered what the heck you actually said at the end of that party,
or wanted a do-over button for those cringe-worthy encounters,
then you've experienced what we call the joy of awkwardness.
I'm Mindy.
And I'm Bree.
And we're here to celebrate the awkward.
Embrace the awkward.
And remind you of one important thing.
You may be awkward,
but you're definitely not alone.
Well, that was awkward. Hello, Mendy.
Hello, Bree.
We have a lot to talk about today.
So much. We have a lot of catching up to do.
I know. First of all, have you checked Facebook or the news?
Not this morning.
Okay, which do you want first, Facebook or the news?
Ooh, the news.
Okay, the news is, did you know that we won the Best of C-Ville contest?
I actually did know that. I'm so glad it's made it to what? Huffington Post. Yay.
Oh, yeah, national news. It's in the New York Times.
Yay. That's so great. Thank you so much, C-Ville.
Thank you so much, C-Ville. Thank you so much, listeners. What do you think is the best thing about winning the Best of C-Ville award?
We get to go to the party for free, and they might have deviled eggs.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good. You know what I think is the best thing? Maybe people will send us more stories.
Yes, actually, that trumps the deviled eggs as much as I love deviled eggs.
Yeah, we want devilish stories more than devilish eggs.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want devilish stories about deviled eggs. They are inherently awkward.
They are inherently awkward. So thank you, C-Ville Weekly, for that marvelous honor. We're really looking forward to the party. And also thank you, listeners, for showing us some love.
Thank you.
Okay, now you want Facebook?
Yes.
I know.
Oh my, wait.
What?
Is this juicy? Do you want to stop recording?
No.
Is it dirt?
No, it's more love, actually.
Oh, yay.
So, we have the Well, That Was Awkward podcast group on Facebook.
Yes.
It has 47 members. I think it would be really cool if by the end of next week we had 50.
Oh, yes. I love attainable goals.
That would be a good goal. So if you're listening and you want to help us reach that goal, go over to Facebook and join the Well, That Was Awkward podcast group. We would love to see you there. And what happened last night, 10 hours ago, according to Facebook, was one of our listeners, Marty.
Marty.
We love you, Marty. She said, was just talking to a friend about your podcast and giggling so that it caused a minor commotion in the restaurant that almost led to a terrible soy sauce disaster.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Oh, it's so great. She was telling a friend and giggling, but it's even better that she had an awkward moment because of our awkward podcast.
It's perfect. It's perfectly awkward.
This is wonderful. Hold on, I'm pulling it up.
Okay.
Oh, you know what else is really awkward?
What?
That you say on here, can we mention this on an episode? And you obviously didn't wait for a yes before you just did it.
Oops. Mendy, this week is a listener story episode.
Yes, today's story comes from a listener we'll call Stephanie. And she's called Stephanie because she's a child of the 80s. Stephanie had been quite musically talented from a young age. She started playing piano at the age of 7. And Bree, I'm just realizing that I don't know if you know how to play a musical instrument.
Well, I did take many years of piano.
That tracks.
But I don't actually play an instrument. I more like terrorize an instrument. Not very good. How about you, Mendy?
Well, now I play bass guitar. Oh, when I was younger, my parents did not put me in music lessons, but my grandmother had one of those 60s or 70s organs in her living room. It was a big deal, like prosumer organs back then. And it had little buttons where you could choose a rumba beat or a salsa beat. And she had all these books of music. And in the music score, each note would have the letter of the note.
Uh-huh.
And then on the keyboard itself, the letters of the notes were on the keys. So I learned scales and stuff just messing around as a kid, and it was really helpful later on.
Oh, that's so helpful.
Yeah.
So Stephanie is a musically gifted child of the 80s?
Yes, specifically 1982.
Oh, that was a good year.
Yes, Steph is in middle school during the time of her most awkward tale.
You know what? I love middle school.
Really?
Yeah.
Was middle school actually a good time for you?
Oh, no. It was a terrible time for me, but I love it now because it is the most awkward time.
Ah, there we go. Well, Stephanie had joined the youth choir at the Campbell Memorial Presbyterian Church at the age of 5. And church is where she really got bitten by the theater bug as well. She was cast as a mouse in the story of the 3 church mice.
Oh, that's a good role. There are only 3 of them.
Exactly, that's the lead. She played the innkeeper's wife in the Jesus Getting Born in a Barn story.
Oh, that's a good role, too. I mean, I'm sure she was torn between her husband's needs and feeling for Mary, who was having a baby. I mean, there's so much richness in that role.
Yeah, and just the whole, who are these people?
Oh.
You know? And after her performance, actually, she received a letter from a Navy admiral, Admiral Bain, praising her performance and saying, quote, "You made me cry when you held baby Jesus up and said, 'It's a baby. A baby.'" I don't think I delivered it as well as she did.
I have nothing to say.
And her big break at Campbell Memorial Presbyterian was being cast as Noah in the musical about the big Bible flood named, Bree, guess what it's called?
The musical?
Mm-hmm.
The Wrath of God.
No.
Kill the humans.
No.
Only animals allowed.
No. She is cast as Noah, the lead role in, drum roll, 100% Chance of Rain, a jazz cantata for young singers.
I can't decide what's funnier here. The 100% Chance of Rain title for the absolutely devastating flood, or that it's a jazz cantata about an extinction-level event.
I don't even know what a jazz cantata is, but it sounds altogether too spicy for the big flood and for church. And her whole family was theatrical. She and her brother also starred in David and Goliath. And they didn't just do church stuff. They did community theater, too. Her mom was singled out in the local paper for her community theater performance in Wait Until Dark. Do you know that show?
I do know that show.
Although she was not referred to by her name, but instead as Mrs. Stephanie's dad's last name.
I have to tell you, Mendy, sometimes that happens to me.
You're Mrs. Jeff Luck?
Yeah, not in a paper, but I do get mail addressed to Mrs. Jeff Luck.
Whoa.
I know.
From who?
From organizations I don't donate to.
And she definitely got all her spunk from her mother. When her mom was a kid, she'd organized circuses in her neighborhood. And when Steph was in the lower grades, her mom did something utterly and extraordinarily theatrical.
What?
It's Halloween. Steph is in 4th grade, sitting in her classroom in the middle of a math lesson, and she hears a cackling, screeching woman's voice coming down the hallway. Suddenly, a goddamn witch busts into her classroom and runs between all the desks and giggling and, grabbing at the kids, and then she runs back out and does the same thing to every single classroom in the entire school.
Was this her mom?
Yes.
Is this the awkward moment?
No, not yet. Her mom was so well into her costume and character, complete with, the wig and green paint, prosthetic nose.
Oh, she was the witch from the Wizard of Oz.
She was a scary witch. And Stephanie had no idea it was her mom. We don't even know if the administration of the school did. It was the 80s. We didn't even lock the door to the school back then. Stephanie was just simply terrified, like all the rest of the kids and maybe the adults too, at Campbell Intermediate School.
The 80s.
And she actually didn't find out until years later that the witch had been her mom.
What? Okay, so she was a very theatrical child with a very theatrical parent.
Yes.
That apple did not fall far from that tree.
Yep. And in elementary school, Steph got star roles in all the school shows, too. The Indians and Pilgrims.
We don't do that anymore.
The Hatfields and McCoys.
What? I never did that one.
No, I actually made a note to Google the show, and the first result I got legit said, this show is not typically a subject for elementary school musicals due to its violent nature.
Oh!
But she says Weems, Virginia.
Weems?
Weems. I know. It sounds like what you'd name a disease that is if your butt has asthma. Sorry, Steph. And Steph says it was a pretty podunk place to grow up.
So she was a big rainbow fish in a mud puddle.
Exactly. Of course, we won't let that diminish her local theatrical successes. Like, she said they had assemblies where a random dude who had been to Venice would just set up a Kodak carousel projector and show his family vacation photos.
Well, that's a backwoods cultural exchange.
Yep. And she's an overachiever like we were, Bree. She once wrote down in church all the things she wanted to do when she grew up. Anchor of the nightly news, win an Oscar, write a novel.
Of course.
Be the president.
Yeah.
And win the Nobel Prize. Sound familiar, Bree?
So familiar.
One time, she got a B+ instead of an A in 4th grade, and she crawled right onto her desk. Did you ever do that?
That would be admitting that I got a B+.
Gotcha. And at the time of our story, Steph is in 5th grade. Still a lover of music, she has acquired her first records, which are awesome, Fascination by Human League and DeBarge.
What is DeBarge?
You know the song, and I'm not allowed to sing it. Rhythm of the Night.
Oh, yeah.
One of the wanderlust songs of the 80s.
Yeah, you can go to Spotify right now and pull up that song, get in your bike, and be back in 1982.
Yeah, or not right now. Wait till you finish the episode.
Oh, yeah, wait until you finish the episode.
And her dad has even cobbled together stereo bits for her and called it a hi-fi, but she's a middle schooler, so now she's all like, oh my God, don't call it that around my friends.
That sounds like middle school.
Yeah, the middle school years are rough, like they are for everyone. The kids start pairing off. If it isn't a romantic coupling, it's a BFF affair. Like she got dumped by Renee because Renee decided to be BFFs with Caroline. But she still has her center, her passion, which is music and performance. So Stephanie is in chorus and band.
What does she play in the band?
Well, she really wanted to play the drums, but she said instruments felt gendered back then, and she didn't go for it.
I get that.
Yeah, so no drums. And the flute was too girly, so she settled on the more boyish version of the flute, and one that would build on her chord and scale knowledge from piano.
The clarinet.
You nailed it. And in this 5th grade year, she has the most badass, iconic music teacher of all, Minnie Mooch. That's her name. Minnie Mooch is a legend. She teaches both chorus and band, and Steph is her dutiful disciple in both. She says Minnie Mooch was one of those nun teachers who seemed married to her art and profession, and she was a musician from a long lineage of musicians. She wore pseudo-Victorian shirts with puffy sleeves and big ornate skirts.
That sounds amazing.
That was a look.
I would have idolized her.
She was married to her music, and there was no room for a partner.
So did Minnie Mooch play a specific instrument, or was she one of those people who plays like 14 instruments?
I bet she could play a lot, but her instrument of choice was the harp.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yes, the harp. And Stephanie says, while there wasn't any room for a partner in Minnie Mooch's life, there also wasn't any room for kids backstage at the middle school because of the shit ton of big-ass harps Minnie Mooch kept back there. And Minnie was named after the song by Cab Calloway, Minnie the Mooch, after Minnie's mom had been in an elevator with Cab Calloway. Music was her life.
I met Cab Calloway once.
Whoa, where?
The horse track. Helped him place his bets.
Did he win?
Of course he did. I was 12. That's why they won't let kids gamble. They know things.
You should have named Camden after him, like Minnie Mooch's mom. You could have named her Reefer Man.
Or Oh, Grandpa. Oh, Grandpa Luck.
Oh, that's got a ring to it. Minnie Mooch had a dry, sarcastic wit, and she would rip you a new one in a minute in class. But with love, like one of those folks that can insult you to your face, and that's a sign they really love you. Mm-hmm. Stephanie was enthralled. So imagine her surprise and delight when, after a long band class spent furtively defending her first chair clarinet spot against a talented but tragically underpracticed second chair named Erica, our fiercely competitive girl gets pulled aside by Miss Minnie Mooch, who says, "The folks over at the Little Old Opry of Gloucester have asked me to find a vocalist for a show coming up. I'm thinking it's you." The Little Old Opry, not the Grand Old Opry, the little one.
I'm thinking that's like the backyard of a gas station.
Oh, it is held at the Donks Theater.
You're making that up.
I'm not making it up. Google it. Donks. It was a periodic review show. She said it was kind of like Hee Haw or the Mandrell Sisters. There was a house band and a regular cast with demented Uncle Jimmy, the MC. Uncle Jimmy, the rhinestone plowboy.
No.
Yep. And it's a big deal. This is huge. She would be performing with professional musicians. And out of all the plebes in her music class, Minnie Mooch had chosen her. Not only is our little superstar moving up from Weems to Donk, she would be getting extra time with the enigmatic, mysterious, impenetrably unflappable lone she-wolf that was Minnie Mooch as they drove back and forth to rehearsals. And she was old enough to ride shotgun. Minnie Mooch picked Steph up early for her first rehearsal because they've prearranged to have dinner beforehand at Sal's Pizzeria.
Does every small town have a Sal's?
I think so. Sal must be Italian for man who is forever doomed to hearing his recipes referred to as Italian. On the way to Donk, she is having solid one-on-one time with Minnie Mooch. They're talking about the song she'll sing for the concert.
What song is she singing?
Well, it's an interesting choice for a 10-year-old. It's You Needed Me by Anne Murray. Do you know that song?
No.
Well, Steph says the lyrics are basically a codependency anthem. Quote, I sold my soul. You bought it back for me.
This is why Gen X is the way we are. Perfect for a 10-year-old.
But she's not worried about the song. She's rolling with the icon. They head into Sal's Pizzeria, order up a couple Cokes, and our girl Steph heads to the restroom. On the way out, she checks herself out in the mirror. She thinks, I've arrived. All those piano lessons, all those times playing Bible dudes at church because the Bible only gives lead roles to dudes, has paid off. All those nights of practicing and making sure I was the best. That damn desk I crawled under that one time I got a B+. It's worth it. Here I am, about to chow down on a triple meat supreme with the Minnie Mooch, who thinks I'm really something. No, who knows I'm really something. Tonight, it's authentic Italian cuisine and my first rehearsal with the professional musicians of the Donk Theater. Tomorrow is written in the stars. She leaves the restroom on cloud 9, her heart doing somersaults. How would she handle Italian restaurants in her future when paparazzi would be everywhere trying to snap her picture? She made a mental note to plan for that, to figure out a strategy to seem gracious while also retaining her mystery. She would be sure to stay approachable and humble, just like Dolly and Meryl. She pictured herself someday a glamorous hometown celebrity, sweeping into her favorite diner in a glittering gown with a long, elegant white train, carefully minding it so it didn't accidentally go wading through an adoring patron's marinara dip. Her little fifth-grade self weaves through the crowded restaurant in this daydream and is just about to pull out her chair to sit down with the goddess of song, Minnie Mooch, who, hey, might be able to get out of this teaching racket if she were to become her manager, when a waiter comes towards her, winking at Minnie, and says quietly, "You may just want to turn around a second." She looks over her shoulder and doesn't see a room of adoring fans. People are staring at her, but instead, the whole room is vibrating with laughter because she has successfully navigated a small-town Italian restaurant with a long white train. But that train is toilet paper.
No.
Yes, toilet paper.
Was it stuck to her shoe?
The toilet paper isn't on her shoe. It's still in her butt.
Mendy!
She sees an uninterrupted toilet paper trail, a teepee path beginning deep in the dorsal crack of her little Jordache jeans, cascading down her little fifth-grade posterior all the way down to her Reeboks, and then continuing backwards through the restaurant, weaving in and out of tables in the cozy, labyrinthine small-town Italian dining room, finally disappearing 15 feet later under the door labeled Signore, which is Italian for ladies. No, it's not over. It gets worse for her. Better for us. our girl is smart, remember? She can't pull the teepee out like she would if it had merely been stuck to her Reebok because the teepee is down her butt area. You can't pull that out in the middle of a restaurant.
No, you have to be somewhere private for that.
And if she were to make a U-turn and weave her way back through the restaurant, she would ensnare more patrons in her two-ply web, not to mention that the train would only get longer and she might trip up. What is she to do? She pinches the tip of the poo paper train at the small of her back and begins a slow, careful reverse through the dining room, retracing her steps while reeling in the ribbon of shame with the solemn focus of someone defusing a bomb. In her words, it was just like Cher. I was trying to turn back time. Well, that was awkward.
That is adorable, I have to say.
She comes back to the table, and the ever sardonic Miss Mooch says, I don't think that many people saw it. I mean, not more than 10.
Ow. So what happened next?
Stephanie makes it to rehearsal. She performs at the Little Old Opry. They even brought the show to her school. She does say she was so nervous that she sang the song at least 2 octaves above where it should have been. She stayed in band and chorus until 7th grade, during which Miss Mooch would always deliver unto her more sick burns.
Like what?
Like, if she raised her hand to go to the bathroom in class, Miss Mooch would be like, remember to check twice. But it was a sign of her love. She ended up performing in Jack and the Beanstalk, a show that Miss Mooch and Miss Mooch's mom had co-written, and Steph was cast as the ass end of the cow. She still isn't sure if that was another inside joke or a demotion or both, but she says it was a relationship based on shame and admiration. I was her little bitch, Steph says, but I loved it. She went on to a super prestigious college. She ended up studying acting at the Neighborhood Playhouse in New York. Bree, tell our listeners that's a big deal.
That's a big deal, listeners.
It is a huge deal. She got her MFA in playwriting, and she went on to learn and play the drums in a band.
Okay, that makes me really happy. That's a lot of accomplishments. I think I'm most excited about those drums.
That is so cool. Well, wait. She's now a kick-ass cross-disciplinary artist and producer. She blends theater, performance art, playwriting. Over the years, she's created everything from surreal public art to large-scale community performances. She's a flipping genius at mixing humor with deep themes like feminism, identity, social change. She's been recognized with several awards and residencies for her one-of-a-kind approach to site-specific and collaborative art. She founded Claw, the Charlottesville Ladies Arm Wrestling League, with our friend Jody, and that has become a national phenomenon benefiting women's initiatives.
Mandy, this is Jen.
Yes, it's Jen. I was like, Jen, please can we say it's you? This is such a great story.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you did. And we'll definitely link to her website in the show notes because people need to see the cool stuff that she's done.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. But we're going to pretend like it's Stephanie.
Okay.
So if Stephanie could have turned back time, what would she have done differently?
She said she wished she had pranked Miss Mooch, like toilet papered her harp collection backstage. That would have been perfect. Mm-hmm. And she says she would like a do-over of the Little Old Opry performance. So Weems Public Schools, listen up. Stephanie is more than willing to come perform that Anne Murray song, but with new lyrics that are less codependent and a couple octaves lower than the first time. She wants another shot.
So does she have any advice for us?
Yes. You can turn back time. Don't listen to Cher. She's proven it. And she did say that she holds no hard feelings for Minnie Mooch and that she would totally be friends with her today.
Well, why isn't she?
Because she died.
Oh, Mendy. Why do I ask these questions?
Well, Bree, what would you have done in this situation?
First of all, I'm very surprised that this did not happen to me. But I think what I would have done is I would have torn the toilet paper at the small of my back so that I wasn't attached to it anymore. And then I would have just ignored it or turned around and pushed it back in the bathroom.
Oh, I didn't even think of tearing it. You know, I think our girl was not even acknowledging that it was happening. She was turning back time.
She was turning back time, just like I try to do with the fancy potions that I put on my face every day.
Exactly.
How about you, Mendy? Could your imaginary friend Dana have gotten you out of this one?
No, I've thought about it, but I've established that Dana cannot help me in any situation where anything is coming out of my body. I have to claim it. Gosh, I think in her situation, I would have just kept walking past the table, out the door, down the street. They would have just found a little sad girl somewhere near the Dollar General with a really long toilet paper stream behind her and had to follow the trail to go find my guardian.
You'd see exactly how long that roll of toilet paper was.
Exactly, and hoped it was about 15 years long.
Well, hey, Steph, Jen, if you're looking for an opening act for your big Weems public school comeback, here's our audition for you.
She wanted the spotlight, the glory, the fame.
At Donk, she was ready to entertain.
But she strode through Sal's with a TP train.
Well, that was awkward. So if you get TP stuck in your behind,
Take a note from Steph and hit rewind.
because unlike Cher, you can turn back time.
Man, I really want some authentic small-town Italian food now.
Like truffled risotto?
Dipped in ranch.
Well, that was awkward.
Man, I wish I was the manager of the Donk Theater.
Why?
Because I'd get the donkey.
Don't be an ass. This has been an Awkward Sage production.